Welcome, viewers and subscribers. Welcome again. It's really good to be here. Yes. Throughout the crisis, it's pandemic. It's pandemic. It's really a challenge worldwide. It's really a challenge, and I, I am thus imploring to people or to citizens to just please follow by the rules. These rules really and truly make sense. I observe persons still keeping events after knowing not just the consequences of keeping that event in this COVID-19 period, but also the consequence of persons getting contaminated of the virus. It really spell no sense, and I cannot see the logic in it, but it also proved to me how much Jamaican is a huge party fanatic. But I will go down in that further down in the in this episode. So yes, welcome again, viewers and subscribers. Welcome to another episode called Profound. I am your host, Swiff. Yes, and that Swiff spell S with a full stop, CO, and there's a hyphen, SWIFF. Right, it's Swift. The view expressed of this program is purely my thoughts and opinion and should not be taken as an offense at no point in time. And I don't claim to know everything around me. So, I'm just sharing my views, my thoughts, my way of how I think things could be a bit more efficient and effective on the country, Jamaica land we love, definitely. I have some topic I would like to attack. I have a few topics. Crime. I would like to attack also. Well, I am going to attack a few things about the female. Definitely. Female achieving a degree, or not just female, university graduates in this time of pandemic. What is the situation? How will it work? Who is there for those people who sacrifice like 5 years achieving their degree? Persons who do my course like electrical engineering. Trust me. I think a lot of people have been left out in this pandemic, who someone should at least give a fair share of, comfort. Even it does verbally. Just let them know that listen, we know you're there. We are going through a crisis. Because everybody is feeling this pinch right now. Even the very bartender is feeling this pinch right now. You understand? So this is no time to show favoritism. But yes, my views first are my topic. Crime. Crime is a serious disease. If you think coronavirus, COVID-19 is a virus, run a survey on crime. Gentle people, ladies and gentlemen, crime is running Jamaica to a wreck. And I honestly don't think the government put in enough work in reducing crime. I mean, don't get me wrong. Crime is everywhere. You understand? Crime is everywhere. And oftentimes I hear persons said like crime is in the US. So what is the big deal about crime in Jamaica? And my answer for that is yes, crime is all over. Crimes and violence is all over. But if you should look at the map, and you will observe that Jamaica is a little dot, like a pen ink, small dot, right? And the level of crime rate in Jamaica, I can tell you, compared to that dot that is on the map, come on, it's a big no-no. That is an enormous question sign there for me. Compared to the US, you will always have crime in the US. But I can tell you this. US is so large where a lot of crime taking place in Chicago. Well, Chicago has a high crime rate. I can tell you. Chicago have a large crime rate. But that is just in Chicago. I'm not saying other states don't have, but I'm just saying that US has a wide gap where when you run this statistic or the survey, you can say, well, okay then, yes, crime and violence is taking place in the US, but US is so large, it filtered. Jamaica is so small, it cannot be filtered. It cannot be filtered. So there's no way to feel proud of this. However, in the US, I have seen where they are working on instruments to reduce crime, and it is working. It is working. Now, my suggestion to Jamaican government and fighting crime. We are employing so many young police officers. Right? That is a very good thing. I mean, yeah, it's a good thing. Police officers, you leave high school, you get a fair chance to further your education, so you can pursue it in wherever field you want to go. But my question to the police force or the security force in Jamaica, have you ever tried to invest in a drone? Yeah man, drone that flies all over. Did you know that drone can reduce an enormous rate of crime, especially in the Kingston area? Just last night I was watching the news where a 15-year-old got shot in the pandemic situation. In the pandemic, children died by gunshot of a gunman. Look at it this way, people. You cannot tell yourself that, in Denham town, we dispatch some police over to north and east, and then expecting that, it's going to be a nice way of going about it. Invest in some drones. Invest in some drones where you have drones right now that can detect specific sound. Drones. You have drones that can be in the air for 4 hours. So those same police that you're sending out in Kingston and all these areas where violence is more of a norm, so to speak. Invest in some drones as well. Alright? So the police can, while they are patrolling, they have drone in the air, the control is in the radio car, or if you have a person walking with that control. If a gunshot fired that drone can detect exactly where's that sound coming from. And that drone can remain there with that camera. And it can tell wherever person's running off to. One drone has the ability to can pick up at least 5 objects at once. And anywhere those objects go, that drone can always be there. And it can send a signal back to headquarters saying, hey, listen, something unusual is taking place here. What is happening? I don't think the government care much. I honestly don't think the government care about reducing crime. That's just my thoughts. That's how I look at it. How can you put yourself into a spot where I don't think crime is gonna reduce by everybody coming together and said let's reduce crime. It's not gonna happen that way. Yes, I honestly think in Jamaica you have to reduce citizens' right. That's how I look at it. Call me crazy, but Jamaica has reached a point now where you cannot go by the norm. You cannot go by the norm to say, okay then, we cannot breach citizens' right because everybody has a right to go on the road. You understand? It cannot work like that. Why it cannot work like that? Because over the years we have tried and it don't work. It don't work. So I tell you what. Let's do another tragedy. Let's work on something new. This is how you go about fixing issues, Okay? So you have a car, right? And the car is not starting in the morning. You constantly have to get a jump start from your neighbor to start your car. Right? Aren't you gonna get a new battery to install in that vehicle so you can start independently in the morning without have to annoy a neighbor or, run into a neighbor? That's exactly how it works. That is exactly how it works. Government system is trying their best to reduce crime. It is not working out. Tell you what. Let's do something else. Take a deeper step in it. And, example, look at the coronavirus. To prove to you that the government can make a difference. Look at the coronavirus. Don't they have police? As much as this sound embarrassed, but police have to actually on the road to ensure persons stay inside their home for their own safety. For those persons' safety, police have to be on the road to say, go inside, stay inside. People, this is not nothing normal. This is weird. This is very, very weird. Strange. And I realize this thing takes place most in the third world countries. Police have to enforce persons to stay inside their home. This is no joke, people. Come on. This speaks volumes to the ignorance that Jamaican have. The other day I was watching the news. There was a party. Residents called the police. When the police came on the scene, persons running farmers' ground, picking okras as if they were actually farmer. Why? So we have to take a different strategy. Another thing, I honestly think crime evolve by a lack of education. One of the thing that crime evolved through is lack of education. Again, the security forces have to change their way of seeing things. Stop telling yourself that no matter what, you cannot give up. You cannot breach citizens' freedom or their rights. You have to take a Fidel Castro kind of stand right now. You have to do that because I have lived in the areas where as soon as the daylight, 15-year-old man are about the handmiggle. Man, I rub out the hand niggle. 15-year-old man, I rub out the hand niggle. 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old, I rub out the hand niggle. Right? And when police are pass, you think them are going to church out their hand and roll out or rub out the hand niggle. Them are going to turn up like normal. The government should produce a system or innovate a system where Monday to Friday. Don't wait until you see like what if 10 persons standing up. And this was before coronavirus come in existence. They were saying that persons who stand up in certain amount of group can be questioned or arrested. Screw that. Screw that. Screw that. We tried that strategy and it didn't work, right? Okay, let's do something else. Let's go more in depth. Let's get more effective. A police officer is driving on the road in a rural area and he saw a young man sitting at his gate. Doesn't necessarily bleach out in face and plait up him here and look like some form of outlaw citizen, so to speak. But the fact that you're on the road in school time on a Monday morning, that person needs to be checked out. Why are you not at school? Let's say he's at the age of 18, so he normally would graduated from high school. Why aren't you into an institution? There is no room for citizens, youth, to stay at home. There is no room for that right now because these are the people who come around and get vulnerable. These are the people who realize that reality kicks in now, the response for their own existence. So what happened now? Them get hungry. What do you think them are going to do? What do you think them are going to do? God bless the few youth them right now who leave high school and go out there and find something on their own legally. God bless such youth who actually go to church on a Sunday or a Saturday. Like the government is sleeping, the security forces are sleeping. They're not vigilant, and I think they're just ignoring the few factors or causes that triggers crime and violence. I guess that is how they get paid. So probably they are saying that, listen, if we don't have gunmen out there, we can't get paid now. Sharpen up Jamaica, man. Tighten up Jamaica, man. You understand me? I say, make them cuss and say they want their rights. Why it's what? As they like to go up on the road, go sit down? No, can't work. Can't work. And for the younger children who like 14, 15-year-old, if you are walking in Linstead Town, Spanish Town, Ocherias, Mandeville Town, St. Mary on a Monday, and you're not in a school uniform, you need to explain yourself. Because primarily, you're supposed to be in school. So I don't want to hear say you have to help out mommy in a market. Mommy, that can't work. We know you hustle. You understand? We know you juggle and you want him to help you take up yam them. But it can't work, so. If you are going down that trajectory with that child, then he's just going to replace you doing the same thing. Not that I am discriminating farmers or persons who sell in the market, but I'm just saying we can grow. We can grow. And just because my dad is a farmer, it doesn't mean that I have to be a farmer. You understand? I can be the exporter, I can be the one who work, I can be the manager in the office that my dad, whenever he plant his grown food and he's going to export it to foreign countries, I can be the manager for such industry. Gentle people, it is rare for a college graduate to come on the street and plague citizen, be a gunman, robber and thief. It happens, you know, but I'm just saying, nobody now got a UE or UTech for when they graduate, then go turn gunman later. But don't have time for that, I can't tell you that. Circumstances happen sometime. You understand? At the same time, not all of us will be able to go to have a tertiary education. But when it comes to a skill, that should not be negotiable. So if mommy and daddy can afford $400,000 every year for my college funds. Okay, fine. You're going to learn a skill. You understand? You're going to learn a skill. But you cannot sit down at home. Stop telling yourself, boy, I can't bother with school again. Read. Read. If you don't read, you're going to in some serious trouble. Read, 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 and more reading. I never used to like reading at one point. As a matter of fact, when I started to read, I fall asleep. Don't know how. But then, you have to refrain from that trajectory of life. Because everybody won't come to you and tell you something. There are certain things you have to read. Yes, there are certain things you have to fathom for yourself as well. But you have to read. How can you be able to read? You have to go to school. It is extremely challenging for our individual to train themselves to read. You don't know the basic. You don't know pronunciation. You don't know that A is for apple. You have no clue. How can you train yourself to read? It's going to be challenging. Basic school is the root. Some people call it kindergarten, primary school, high school. We need a trade. Government, I'm pleading. Look into what I am saying. I'm not speaking garbage, I'm sure. You have to put down your foot more tighter when it comes to security forces. Too many young men is on the road. Too many young men is on the road. When I am going to work in the morning, my work start 8 o'clock to 4:30, right? And when I am going out, I leave my home like 7 minutes, 6:45, and the amount of guys sitting on the wall, rubbing out their hand middle, I can tell you, it is not just only in my community. I'm sure of that. It is not just only in my community. This is just the filters of vulnerable people all over. It cannot work. We need some tight security forces. As a matter of fact, we need some security forces who employed specifically for that purpose. So it's not a case where police is just passing by and just randomly saw some young men and pulled them over and said what happened. You have police employed specifically for that purpose. Try that strategy and I can guarantee things will shape up. Don't just wait until coronavirus ends and everybody free again. And the only time you hear police come is when a female go on the station to report that her boyfriend pulled his gun at her and physically abuse her. You understand what I say? Come on, man. Ask yourself what triggers these things. I just know that if the enforcement of education improve in Jamaica, I'm sure it will be a reduction of crime. I'm sure of that. Sure. Another thing I am concerned about: the female, girls, women who are constantly how would I say now? Trying their best to play men. Ladies, don't stop it. Don't stop it. It's like you not learn. Let me give you a scenario. Pablo have $5 million, right? And Pablo lonely. Pablo is a single man. Now, two girls over that corner there realize Pablo have $10 million there, you know. Yeah, man, and see if I can get $3 million out of that $10 million there, right? Alright. My girl go to Pablo and start out in a little shut up. Zine. Go to Pablo. Pablo vulnerable because Pablo single, you know. Talk to Pablo as a neighbor, take Pablo number, start to send Pablo some exotic pictures, you know. Have Pablo attention. Pretend for a year and plus that, I love Pablo so much. She and Pablo get into relationship. sexual relationship. In Pablo's thought, oh yes, finally, I find someone. Pablo invests so much in this woman, get her a driver's license, buy her a car, right? Send her back to school. And throughout that time, this woman cannot come around and say, you know what? Let me love Pablo because Pablo is doing so much. Pablo actually care about my well-being. No. Oh, I use Pablo, you know. After me, I want big belly Pablo. I would want big belly Pablo. Rotten teeth Pablo. Right? While Pablo have the opposite thoughts. Love that girl that check for me. And really and truly, you know, the only thing you are giving to Pablo is just sex, you know. Yeah, man, I just sex alone I give to Pablo. Pablo do him look a business, Pablo invest in him look a thing. Pablo have him look a income. No. Let's just say Pablo invest $4 million in you. Buy a piece of land, give you. You know, you make a house. As I said, him give you a driver's license, buy you a car. So you can, you know, be more mobilized, go to and from easier. When Pablo money don't know, you will go say, oh, be done, this not gonna work out. Pablo ask you why. It just not gonna work. Why? It just not gonna work. No. At the state when you take everything what Pablo have, right? All Pablo hard working, savings and him investment, you take away everything, him house, his car, everything you take with the intention that is all you need from day one. You're expecting Pablo to have the mindset that, listen, I saw life go, let me move on. Una got dead. Telling you straightforward, Una got dead. And this has nothing to do with encouraging men that whenever time they're in situation like this, they should take the life of a female. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, people, this is what is taking place now. For the month of December is like what, 4 deaths? We all hear the news on Facebook. The voice notes with the soldier guy and his girlfriend. Ladies, you need to stop do these things. If you don't want him and left him and things alone. Because, and you know what funny about this? After these ladies have all of what they think they need in life to carry on. Funny enough, the guy who they always put in their life, he's always just, he's like a karma. Always. Or most of the time. I just karma. You use one man, forget certain things, and it's like, oh, man, a pretty cute face boy over there. So, hey, and when you go to that boy they have all in 3 picking so boy all married. But so he cute and he nice, I him you want. But him can drain out everything that you have as well. And leave you right back on your face. Ladies, cannot work like this. Cannot work like this. You need to step up. Value yourself. Value yourself. Stop give men false hope. Stop give man the feeling as if regardless of the argument, eventually things will work out. Cannot work. Another thing I think is a huge problem is the music. The music. Especially these female artists. I know female artists in particular who never wrote a song for schoolgirls. Never. Never. All they can sing about is cock it up and wind up, broke off in mood and do this and do that and one bag of thing. But they will never say, alright, let me write a song for the schoolgirls. Notice I am being precise about schoolgirls. I will go on the boys, but let me just emphasize on the schoolgirls. For the female celebrity, what you have to understand is that you are a role model for these schoolgirls. Trust me when I tell you, you are a role model. So if you said, jump off of your bed and drop on your neck and whine, them are going to do it. Sound idiotic, but they are going to do it. They are going to do it because these students have the belief that if she say that, she's not an idiot. It means it can be done. Not knowing you're just making lyrics. So same like how you can reach out to these students, these young girls, by telling them to cock up and broke out and this and that. You can write 1, 2 tune same way as I listen. Take in your education, man. Take in your education. Education is what matters. Go on to school. You know, love your parents, respect your parents. You know, you can write some lyrics that your sex now runway. Cause 2 down the line you ever want it. You would surprised to know how much these kids will motivate by these lyrics that you put in. But I've known these today's female, I don't hear them write anything about how young girls can control themselves and know themselves. No. It's all about who want to be the queen of the dancehall. Who want to be the queen of the dancehall, who want broke out, who take what who for man. My thing tighter than fear, that's why a man can't deal with me. You think your fans aren't seriously caught up in just that simple lyrics that you wrote? You not do it, you know. And you are telling yourself, so, oh, I just song, I just lyrics. No, you're a role model. Everybody's looking up to you now. You're now a famous person. So you have to say, okay then, let me give them a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You understand what I say? Write some conscious music for these girls as well. You understand what I say? I have to give it up to Vybz Kartel because we all know Vybz Kartel is one of the most lyricists some of us have ever come across. Right? But Kartel writes schoolgirl. You understand? Kartel wrote about tight pants. Tight khaki pants. For the boys. And for the boys also now. These new artists coming up. I would always proud of youth who arise from the ghetto, who write music and improve their hope of survival. You know, you get a good house, you know, you're no financially stable. But I can tell you this, if I were in the Prime Minister shoes, I can tell you this, I would be so strict where your music wouldn't even reach out there, even if it is private. Go back to the same thing when I'm talking about crime. These new artists, it's 3 things they sing about. Gun, girls, as in sex of people, girl pitney, right? And killing. Run a survey if you think alive yet. That is the only thing these new guys sing about. That is the only thing you can find these artists sing. You will never find these artists write some song again for the